What's up, friends of the good mood? This is Manni and welcome to the next session on the Paramotor channel, and I have a special video for you guys today here. I was flying so high up this time and I had such strong winds coming from the front that I would no longer be able to move forward. I was basically standing completely still with very high altitude and looking down, and nothing was moving, completely stationary. So sit down, lean back and enjoy this one, guys. So here we're starting now with this paramotor, and yep, the wing comes up clean from behind. We're just accelerating real quick and then taking off. There it is. One or two checks at the outer edges of the wing that I can have a look at, and here we go. Now, what I'm about to do with you today is something I've also done for the first time. You know, I have this variometer on my leg that shows my altitude, my ground speed. It shows the wind direction and the wind speed. It shows my GPS position and also, you know, points of interest on the map, and I can basically navigate on that. And it's a very useful tool, but it also shows me the ground speed. So the speed that I'm traveling toward versus the ground, right? Because if there's a wind coming 50 kph from the front and I fly right into that, I might actually have zero speed, right? On the ground. I'm still flying with 50 kph against the wind, but on the ground I wouldn't basically moving. And that's one thing that we will have happen here in this video, and that was the first time I've ever seen this happen. I did have decent winds, but not as strong that I was not able to move at all anymore. And so, yeah, we've taken off. We're now having the gloves on the hands, and I'm also going to be very soon, you know, opening the trimmers a little bit to gain a bit more speed with this wing. And then we're zeroing in on the mountain of the Swabian Alps right here, where near where I'm living, where you can really, you know, have a great view up on the mountains there. And the thing is, of a certain amount of altitude over ground, I'm safe not entering into the next airport restricted airspace. But if you travel above the mountain now, this puffer zone between you and the restricted air zone gets smaller and smaller the higher you are up above the mountains, right? And that was one of the things that I had to deal with this time. I was actually getting a warning on my variometer. A warning saying that I only have such and such few meters before I would enter the restricted airspace, or the not restricted airspace, but the controlled airspace from the nearest airport, right? And obviously I'm trying not to have that happen. I do not have permission to go into their controlled airspace, so I stood below that limit. Don't worry, I did not do anything crazy here. I did not enter their airspace. But it's interesting, also for the first time I saw the warning. And you see the mountain over there? This is the one that we're traveling towards. That's, right now we're pretty much at 400 meters altitude over ground, and we're already relatively high up. Now it's about 600 meters or 800 meters. Maybe it's already 800 meters above ground, and you see we're much higher compared to the mountain. The mountain that we were just at the same level a few seconds ago, we're now way higher than the mountain, and we can look past the whole Swabian Alps there in the distance. And I've had a similar perspective once, well, already in the past, where there was a whole like fog laying over these mountains, and only this windmill was like sticking out of it every time I saw like a wing of it coming out. So and we're now not as high as we get in this video. That was not before. That was before I had the warning. I was still climbing, and you see right here, I'm no longer traveling forward. If we look down, which I'm doing right now, you'll see we're standing. We're standing completely still. The winds over these Swabian Alps right there was so strong from the front. They basically compensated my own speed. Of my glider and myself. That speed was completely compensated by the wind coming from the front, and although it was very calm wind, it wasn't like gusty and really crazy. It was just really calm winds, but strong. So strong that I was unable to move forward. I was literally trying. I've cut this together for you here. I was literally trying for 20 minutes to fly, and I think I haven't even done 200 meters in these 20 minutes. I was going at, and the variometer told me I was going at, I don't know, 3 kph. Look how calm it is. It's like it's like I'm on a balloon or something. That's what it looks like right there. Look. No movement whatsoever. It's like I'm hanging from some kind of skyscraper, just looking down there. So stationary we are. That's how calm the wind were and how amazing it was actually to fly. It was just too strong though. And then eventually I decided to turn around because there was no point in not flying anywhere, that I decided to go the other way. And this is also the way home. Thankfully, the way home was the way to go. And also, by the way, the higher you get, there's a thumb rule, every 100 meters, I think it's like 10 kph or so more wind speed. I'm not exactly sure about the thumb rule, and it also doesn't apply all the time, but one thing is clear: the higher you get, the stronger the winds will be normally. There can be certain rare conditions where it's not like this, and sometimes you have a wind going in this direction further below, and higher up you may have wind in the other opposite direction. So you can actually travel with a wind coming from behind in both directions, being faster. But that's not too often the case, and yeah, so in this case we had the wind in the same direction, but it just got stronger and stronger the higher I went up. And so I eventually decided to turn back around and go back home, basically. And now I was actually going with 70 kph, whereas before I was standing 100% still with, like, I had maybe 5 kph forward speed still. 5 kph, that's all I had. 5, 7, that's what my variometer told me. And then on the way back I had like 78, 79, like 80 kph. So that means I was basically going insanely fast compared to where I was before completely standing. And that's the difference, right? The ground speed is what matters. Ground speed is your speed plus or minus the wind. And that's what we had here, and I hope this was an interesting video for you guys, something I wanted to share with you. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, have a good one, leave a like, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.